Hey everyone, it's Jamie from BestNerdLife and welcome to another episode of Nerdy Thrifts. Now this is a video series where I go around my local and not so local charity shops to try and find some nerdy bargains. Now I'm actually currently in the city of Sheffield. This is where I grew up. I've not been here for about a year, maybe more, and I've not really had a chance to go around the city properly for even longer than that. And there's a train coming. Oh, it's a tram. Yeah, the Sheffield tram's going through. But yeah, I'm here seeing family and just having a couple of days off. And whilst I was here, I thought maybe I'd go around some of the old charity shops I used to go to and see what's changed and see if I can get any bargains. So yeah, let's do that. I'm going to start this video with the most northern breakfast you could ever have in your life. So let's go. Yes, that's right, that is a Greggs in the distance, and I'm going to have a bacon baguette with brown sauce because that is my absolute favourite breakfast item from Greggs. Such a good tasting breakfast. Whilst I was having my breakfast, I decided to nip into CEX to see exactly what they had in stock, and first off I found a bunch of Amber Nick products. I've never really used any of these. I've heard they're quite good. You know what, for £60 to £80, I don't think that's too crazy in terms of kind of modern retro stuff. So yeah, I didn't pick any up, but definitely something to look at and potentially buy in the future. Moving on to the next glass cabinet, and this one predominantly had Sega stuff in it, so Mega Drive, Saturn, etc, etc. Some ridiculous prices in this cabinet. I'm kind of really sad that these things are getting so expensive because, you know, a few years ago they probably were worth like nothing really. Some Evercade things up there on the right. I'm always on the lookout for Evercade stuff. I didn't pick these up for some reason, I don't know why. Up next is the Nintendo cabinet, and yeah, again, a bunch of really overpriced stuff here. It's a shame, but what can you do? You know, things have inflated ridiculously so. Mario's Time Machine for £175. I don't even know what that game is, and it's just ridiculous. You got a Pokemon game there for £210, Paper Mario for £80, something else for £155. Ridiculous. I don't know why anyone will buy these things for that price. Moving on to some handheld Nintendo stuff here. We got some Game Boy Colors, all that good stuff. I don't think that bad prices for the handheld stuff. Until we get over to this side, £70 okay. Then £250 for this NES inspired Game Boy Advance SP, I think that is. Yeah, just crazy prices now. The actual box games, not too bad, not too inflated, but yeah. Moving on into our first proper charity shop, and I found a bunch of cassette tapes, but more importantly, a cassette tape storage unit. Now, if I wasn't in Sheffield and would have to like cart this along with me across the entire country when I was going back home, I would have picked this particular cassette tape storage unit up because I need more of these. I've got a bunch of cassette tape games that all need storage units, and this would have been absolutely fantastic. Saying that, I don't even know if they were selling it, but yeah, I would have taken it if it weren't so far away from home. This next charity shop was an absolute delight. It was all modern, new, all that kind of stuff. It even had 4 copies of the full Monty, which I didn't even notice until after the fact. And yes, I did buy one, spoiler alert. But it had like comics, vinyl records, all that kind of good stuff. A bunch of nerdy things, VHS, Blu-rays, DVDs, jigsaw puzzles, etc, etc. This was a really, really good shop, and I wish I'd spent more time in here. However, I didn't, but I did find this Q-Fig of Jessica Jones from the Netflix series. I used to have this, but I got rid of it because I'm not a huge fan of Q-Fig figures, but yeah, it was really cool to see. All kinds of stuff here, including Peaky Blinder, like glasses, Daffy Duck mugs, just loads and loads of really nerdy things, including, when we go around here, a bunch of t-shirts. Yeah, there was a bunch of t-shirts in here, some fairly nerdy. There's a Simpsons one, a Def Leppard one. I would have got this, but it was just too small for me. But yeah, Def Leppard from Sheffield. Big fan of those. Doctor Strange. all that good stuff. A lot of really nerdy things in here. In this glass cabinet, I found a few things, including a sheep, weirdly enough, for anyone who wants a statue of a sheep. But also, there was a couple of like figures, like toy cars and stuff, as well as some Marvel comic books, sure to the rescue apparently, as well as a PlayStation 5 of all things in the background. Yeah, I think this is like the first PlayStation 5 I've seen in a charity shop. I wasn't going to get it because, you know, I don't want one. But yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen one in a charity shop. But I could be wrong. This next thing was a little bit annoying. So as I was walking into this charity shop, I found a guy near the media section, like kind of leafing through it all. And there was a bunch of PlayStation 1 games there. And he took the vast majority of them. So even though there's a lot of stuff here, there was even more. You see that space there? That was all full of PlayStation 1 games. I have no idea what they were. But I could have got a bargain there if I was just like a minute faster. Still in the same charity shop here, and I found a glass cabinet with quite a few things in there. You got Starling, LA Noire, Guitar Hero, as well as The Hobbit, Sonic Unleashed. On to an unexpected and kind of cute find in this kids section. We got a bunch of those, I can't remember what they are, Marvel Infinity, I think they are, figures. You got Hawkeye, Black Widow, Thor, Nick Fury, I was going to say Sam Jackson then, and also Adam Jenkins, I think his name is, from Deus Ex. Yeah, it's cute. I picked him up for a couple of quid. Yeah, $1.99, not bad at all. Adam Jensen, that's his name, not Adam Jensen, Adam Jensen. On to a vintage shop here, and I found this thing in the glass cabinet. Wasn't entirely sure what it was, but I looked up and there was actually the box there, kind of explaining what it was. This is a Space Turbo by Tomy. It's some kind of interactive game thing, but I really don't know enough about it. And for that price, I left it. I didn't want to spend that much on something. Even though it was boxed and looked pretty cool, I left it. Before I left the shop, I also found these rather interesting electronic typewriters. At least I think they're electronic typewriters. They're really cool to touch and press and stuff, and yeah, they just look really cool and old and retro, so I had to go on them. Very, very nice. Very, very chunky. I used to have one of these, but I got rid of it because I just didn't have the space. Moving on to something a little bit more modern, we've got a bunch of Battlefield stuff, Call of Duty and Halo stuff. All pretty generic stuff in my opinion. I enjoyed Halo 3, but I never really got into any of these franchises. I'm definitely not going to be picking any of these up, but yeah, they're there. We can see them. It's content. Now this next thing is actually a little bit more interesting for me at least. This is a Tesla Model Y guide. It's some kind of either owner or buyer's manual. I don't have a huge interest in Tesla. I think the Cybertruck is really stupid looking, but for a couple of quid I wouldn't mind reading this basically and just seeing what it's all about. Moving a little deeper into this store now, and I found the media section, which included a bunch of PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2 games, including Dead Island, which I think the original game is absolutely fantastic. Got Deus Ex, which, yeah, that little figure that I got earlier, as well as some PlayStation 2 games, including Final Fantasy X, great game. And also, looking back, a game I really regret not getting, Tony Hawk's Underground 2. I need that game, I love that game from back in the day. I should have really picked that up. I regret that very, very much. However, we kind of go down to ground floor level, below all this kind of stuff, and we found a big box version of Myst. Now it is the CD version, and it had a weird kind of thing cut out on the top flap, and it was a little bit expensive for my liking. However, it seemed mostly intact, and I've been wanting Myst for a long, long time, so I decided to pay the price that they wanted. You can see the kind of cut off there. I assume it's for like a rebate or something, but yeah, in the end, I got it. Now this, I found some kind of software for like £10. Now this is like crazy pricing for me. It's like a really old piece of software. Not really useful, so I didn't sell it for £10. I don't know. I don't choose these prices. A couple of PC games, Xbox games, etc, etc. Some pretty decent ones there. We've got Mass Effect, Supreme Commander, Halo, Halo Wars, all that kind of stuff. And then Skyrim on the end. A decent mixed bag. I didn't get any, unfortunately, because I don't want them or need them. So yeah. I also found some things here, including Max Trucks, Batman, got Rage as well, and then some like VHSs and stuff, a Wii game, whatever. But the thing that really caught my eye was this Max Trucks. This looks like absolute shovelware, and I was so tempted to get it. So tempted because it looks so terrible. But I'm trying to kind of like have less random stuff in my collection, so yeah, even though I was tempted to get it, I left it. Alright, this next bit we have hit the motherload. 4 big box games, including Railroad Tycoon, which I was so tempted to get because it's in such immaculate condition. Well, relatively speaking, but I already got it. Got Quarter Pole, which is a game I've never heard of, but for £2, yeah, I'll pick that up. I've also got Fields of Glory, otherwise known as Fog. This is the CD version. I've already got the floppy disk version, so yeah, for £2 I'm picking that up. And then lastly we have Lemmings, which is a game I've wanted for a long time, but I think they wanted like £18 for it. I don't want to spend that much on a game. Another console find in this particular charity shop, and this time it is an Xbox One for £40. Yeah, I wasn't going to get this anyway because, as I said before, I'm away from home, and I also don't want an Xbox One, so even though it's fairly cheap, I don't even want it, so yeah, I left it for someone else. Got a whole bunch of games here, including some random CD ones. Yeah, I don't know what that is, some kind of drawing software or something. Shanghai, yeah, I'm not too bothered in that. A bunch of DS games, all very generic. We've got this Storio Hello Kitty game. It's pretty cool, don't want it though. Some more Halo stuff. Crackdown, which is pretty cool. And then just a whole bunch of other stuff, like PC stuff, Wii stuff. Yeah. Not really something that I want to pick up. Although I did find Pharaoh, which in my opinion is a really, really good game. Tempted, but I didn't get it. On to the glass cabinet in the same charity shop, and I found a bunch of stuff. Some pop vinyls, got some Gears of War figures, as well as this Elizabeth from Bioshock little figure thing. I was tempted to get it. It was in the box, but yeah, for that price, nah, I decided to leave it. But yeah, some really random gaming related finds in this particular video. Figures, minifigures include, well, not minifigures, small figures included. Now I did actually almost miss this thing until I looked up. And moving up slowly here, this is a Thunderbirds Tracy Island playset. I remember this back in the day. I never had one, but I do remember this back in the day. Yeah, seemed pretty intact. I didn't look inside it, but for a Thunderbirds fan, collector, I'm sure this is pretty good to go in their collection if they haven't already got it. But for me, don't want it. Leave it for someone else. And then, last but not least, a bunch of Playmobil stuff. Now, this went really, really quickly. It actually went the day after I filmed this, and all of this was gone. I think it was all for like £45 or something. Yeah, £40. Job luck Playmobil, £40. For someone, that was a really, really good steal. I was tempted because I do actually love Playmobil, but again, trying not to get random stuff into the collection. So yeah, I left it for someone else, and they took it the next day. And then some random controllers as well. You know, the kind of third-party generic ones. Wasn't interested in them, so yeah, I left it. And here's my collection for this particular video. And I've got to be honest, I'm really happy with the stuff that I got. We've got 2 big box games, which I'm always happy to get. We got a VHS of Full Monty because, yeah, you know, you've always got to buy VHSs of Full Monty, right? Every time you go to Sheffield, you've got to do it. That minifigure of Adam Jensen from Deus Ex, really cool find, I'm really happy with that. As well as 2 pop vinyl figures that I didn't actually film myself getting. That is from, and they're from Wolf by Night, which is that kind of Marvel horror film thing that came out on Disney Plus a while back. And big spoilers here, I absolutely adore werewolves. I adore like the creatures themselves, the films, like the lore around them, all that kind of stuff. And seeing something like this coming out on Disney Plus from Marvel, I was very happy with it. I enjoyed it. I watched the colour version, the black and white version, just great. Yeah, I bought these because I'm really happy with them. But yeah, in any case, if you enjoyed this video, then by all means like, comment, subscribe. I do all this kind of stuff all the time. I just don't really have a lot of time to release videos. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed it, then by all means like, comment, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. I'll see you next time. Keep living that best nerd life.